Good morning. Welcome to episode 7. Sorry if the lighting's funny, but we have a storm going on right now, and so lighting's kind of weird. And today we're going to be making a kind of a breakfast style steak. I don't know what you want to call it, just a steak wrap. Yeah, so we got the steak, and don't really remember what cut it is. It doesn't really matter. It's going to be cut really thin, anyways, to go into the wrap. And bell pepper, white onion, chayote, tortilla, yeah, and green onion, egg, and then bacon, jalapeno, and cream cheese. But that's going to be for, and spinach. But the bacon, the jalapeno, and the cream cheese, that's going to be for the schmear. Kind of a simpler one today. About an hour ago, I already took the steak. I took the little meat tampon out of the tray here, or whatever. I mean, if you want to, that little weird pad in the bottom of the meat tray that absorbs blood and other things, so I call it a meat tampon. I've been told that that's not what it's called, but at the same time, what would you call it? Either or. So about an hour ago, I already salt and peppered the steak and just have it sitting out, so it's doing its thing. And we're going to be roasting the red bell pepper and the jalapenos just right here. What I need to get is a small little grate that I can put on top of here, because I do this all the time and things are constantly falling down in there. Alright, so today's little story, as usual, is, like I said, I need to get a little container I can set these on top. Alright, so when I was working in the South Pacific, one of the places that I worked at was this little, we'll just call it Bob's. It was this little Mexican restaurant. It was the first Mexican restaurant in the whole country. Yeah, and this place was it was funny because it was kind of known, the whole area, not just this restaurant in particular. I'm going to get the bacon started. Yeah, it was, the locals, we'll just say, were known to get rather rowdy when they got drunk. Right, since I'm going to be basically grinding this up anyways, it doesn't really matter the size of the bacon. Yeah, so like the security guard we had one time, he got jumped one night standing in the doorway by two dudes that he'd kicked out earlier, and he literally held one of the guys while he beat the other guy with the first guy. Like literally like movie style, holding one dude and just like, I don't know, fucking holding him by the shirt, I guess, and just fucking I don't know, it was pretty funny. So we came in afterwards and one dude was fucking still being held and the other guy was basically unconscious on the ground. Yeah, so, like, actually one of the funny, weird things that, oh, fucking, come on, is one of the things that the locals would do that I always thought was really interesting, and it wasn't, we'll just say, it was legal, it's 100% legal in their country, that you could send someone down to the bar to buy unopened beers for you, but, so we would have these kids show up after, I don't know, basically after school, and they would be completely like wearing their school clothes because they had uniforms, stuff like that, and we could legally sell them these like crates of beer that they were taking home to dad. Dad had called it in, and that's all it took was that basically either a written note. And it was interesting because as much as you're going, oh shit, okay, so yeah, now this is just a bunch of drunk kids. No, actually, it was really weird because almost no one ever took advantage of that. Alright, I just threw most of that onion skin away. I'm going to start keeping the butts of them because you can actually, now that it's coming into springtime, you can start planting these. Let's say this little part right here. Yeah, it'll sprout and basically be a green onion until it turns into a white onion. Now I want these jalapenos to be like this one here, like just really nice and roasted. So, and I'm going to actually leave most of this char on, and you will see why. The bell pepper, though, we're going to do a little different. Maybe I could just, there we go. Yeah, all sorts of crazy shit happening at this place. Oh, like these kids, yeah. And they didn't take advantage of it, which I thought was really funny, but sounds like a frog. Maybe because it's raining outside. But yeah, so these kids wouldn't take advantage of it, and it was funny because like sometimes you'd see someone come in and they would literally order like, it'd be a singular person, and they'd order like 15 beers to themselves, all opened, all sitting there, and they would basically know their level of just getting shit-faced, and they'd just come in and they'd pay for it all right off the bat. And it was always kind of, to me, I thought that was like a very interesting technique, where basically it's like, yeah, I know I'm going to get fucked up, so I might as well just pay for it right now so I don't forget later. Alright, I'm going to keep turning these. I'm going to cut the chayote up, and I'm going to grill most of these, not all of them. I'm going to take some of them, put them off to the side. So, yeah, I mean, like one of the other funny little moments. Alright, this I want to have, this is going to be more for like just texture later on, like in the wrap, so I don't need a lot of it. I could have actually probably waited till the very, very end to make this, but that's how prep stuff goes. So I'm cutting it as just really fine little slices here. Yeah, so like there's this one dude who met this chick there for a date, didn't know that she was basically a prostitute, and when she found out that he didn't know, she literally climbed over our balcony, and like she walked out to the bathroom. Well, to the bathroom. It was the hallway to the bathroom, not like it needs to be in quotations. And then, oh, this is working great with the pepper in the center here. Alright, so I'm going to take this one off. Alright. So I don't want these two, I want these to be able to cool down, because I'm going to mix them in with the cream cheese, and we don't want to melt the cream cheese. But the bell pepper, that itself, we're just going to, I was thinking of making an aioli with it, but I've had a lot of mayonnaise in the last few recipes, so I figured to make one without mayonnaise, but a recipe without mayonnaise. And since it's got the cream cheese Schmear, I mean, come on. I'm going to put these off to the side here. One of my favorite things when making wraps is like try to separate all the things so that later on, like you can really play with the colors when making it. Yeah, so like this chick literally climbed over the balcony, and we weren't that high. We were 2 stories. We were on the 2nd floor. So this chick literally climbed off the balcony just to get away from this dude. But she could have just said, "Hey, I don't know." I don't know what she could have said. It was a weird moment. So it's good. It's starting to get dark out again. Yeah, so working at this place it was fun. It was a completely different experience from other restaurant experiences that I've ever had. Like, one of the cool things was in the kitchen, or one of the weird things, fun things, is we didn't have to wear shoes. And not that we didn't have to, it was actually better that we didn't, because the dining room area was all sand. It was all filled in with sand. And so if we actually wore shoes or flip-flops from that area into the kitchen, we tended to track sand into the kitchen, which wasn't good. So funny enough, and with barefoot, we would actually keep a bucket right inside the kitchen door of water, and so you could literally step in from the dining area into this bucket of water and then walk through the kitchen. And I don't think we had rubber mats in there, but we might have, who knows. So I've got the onions cooking down. I've got the jalapenos off to the side. They're chilling right now. Yo. And then I've got the chayote. I almost got a Chernobyl. I've got the chayote sitting here. Onion off to the side. Alright, so I just took the bacon out, flipped it over. You want the bacon to be very crispy, so that way it literally just like disintegrates into the paste, into the schmear. Alright, I just took the bacon out. I'm going to take it out of the pan, let it crisp up a little bit. And the bell pepper is going to go into this little bin over here. I highly recommend anyone, when you're buying for kitchen stuff for home, buy the like industrial kitchen stuff. I mean, this thing comes with measurements on it. It's food grade safe. It can go through everything. So, alright. So now I'm gonna just, I just washed it. So I'm gonna put this in here and turn this off for now. Bacon's just kind of doing its thing. I need the bacon to cool down, same as the jalapenos, before I mix them in with the cream cheese. And so I'm just gonna let this sit here and then just keep breaking that down. Yeah, so like another night at this place was kind of funny, and we were closed. It was 3 in the morning. We'd already had shut down everything, like the music was shut off, the fucking lights are shut off, everything. And how the bar was set up, the bar could be completely locked up, but then the patio area, the dining area, was enclosed, but there was one entrance in and out. And basically, this dude was in that area, and he was just being super mean to me when I was telling him like, hey dude, we gotta go, we're closing up for the night. And he just kept saying fuck you to me. That was like his one response to everything I said to him. Yeah, so it was like, I told him, I was like, hey dude, look, I gotta go home, like, we gotta go home, I'm with the last of the staff here. Like, I already told them that they could take off. Alright, I want this pan to be like nice and hot, because I want to really just quick sear this steak. Alright, the bell pepper is just steaming away, it's just doing its thing. So you want it to steam, because then it kind of just releases, makes the skin come off way easier. Yeah, so this dude just wouldn't fucking leave, and so I'm standing there at the gate, and I tell him like, hey dude, I'm going to give you a count to 3 before, like, I lock the gate, which would actually lock him into the property. And he thought I was bullshitting, so I called the boss. I'm standing there right in front of him to tell him, hey Joe, like, dude, this guy won't take off, like, I'm trying to leave, like, can I lock him on the property? And I tell him where the guy is, that the guy can't access the bar, he can't access anything, he's locked into basically a dining room. And this is 3 in the morning that I'm calling Joe, 3:30 now, probably close to 4 o'clock, I'm calling Joe. And Joe says, yeah, you know what, do what you gotta do. Yeah, I tell the dude, like, look, I'm gonna give you to the count of 3 before I fucking just lock the door and walk away. Alright. Yeah, so I go 3, and dude literally just says, fuck you. Say 2. Dude literally says, fuck you. Say 1. Dude not only says fuck you, he flips me off. And funny enough, like, situation being, he's standing on the other side of this gate. The gate is the enclosed area. And I'm the person with the lock already in the thing, with the key standing there. I don't have the key. Actually, no, yeah, I didn't have the key. And so basically, I'm the one who can shut the lock and fuck this dude's night up, like, completely. Or I can just, like, not lock it and walk away and he's fine. But I look at him straight in the face. I mean, we're 8 inches apart. I look at him straight in the face and just click, shut the lock. And at that point, I just walk up to the police station, which is right up the street, and I tell them that the dude's in there and that basically he's safe, but that he's in there. And this stuff's getting nice and chilled, so it's still pretty hot. But, you know what, maybe I'll just cut these open. Let me rinse off. Now this should help them cool a little faster and move them away from the heat too. Yeah, it's still too warm to mix in with the cream cheese. So the next morning, not even the next morning, 3 hours later, when Joe and the first of the staff showed up, dude's laying there just sleeping in the thing. And it was funny because he was super apologetic, basically like, hey, tired, or sorry I was being an ass, whatnot. And Joe's super cool with it because the guy didn't destroy anything, or he just basically slept it off, which is what we figured would happen. But not everything always went like super charming and smooth. There were some moments there that were rather, I don't want to say scary, but were rather skeptical, rather interesting, weird moments. There's a guy that I'll tell more about later on other stories, because he earns his place. Guy, we'll just call Easy Kelly. And Yeah, that dude fucking, he literally looked like the true real life Bluto or Bruno from Popeye. Like at the time, I was like 6 foot tall, but 150 pounds, 160 pounds, and this dude was like 6'1", 6'2", so not like an incredible height difference, but 300 pounds, 280, and not fat, just solid fucking mass. This dude was literally the rugby coach, champion, teacher of that part of the country. So, like, this dude was a big motherfucker. And his father actually owned the property that our restaurant was on. And because of that, he felt that he should be allowed free drinks. Which, you know what, if he was in moderation with it, we would have been completely cool with. But he was not. His free drinks, according to his mindset, was literally just grabbing them off of people's tables. Like, he would just walk in, like out of a fucking old western. This dude would just walk in, and as he's walking up to the bar, he would just swoop someone's beer or whatever, just to whatever was the closest drink to him, and just fucking that was it. That was his drink. And so, yeah, it's pretty interesting. All right, so it's been a couple minutes. So the bacon's pretty good, so I'm gonna crumble it up a little bit by hand. And so, like I said, my mixer's broken, so I'm gonna try making basically a mix in here. We'll see how that comes out. So I'm gonna add about half the bacon and about half the jalapeno, and then put the cream cheese on top. And I'm gonna put everything in except for the stem, basically. Oops. You know what? I'm gonna cut it into little chunks, just to help the mixer out a little bit. Yeah, so sometimes things would be pretty gnarly at this place. Like, I don't know, like any bar. And one of the nights in particular, we had this, I think it was a band or something going, I don't remember what. Yeah, so just jalapenos, bacon, and cream cheese. Alright, let me put this in the immersion blender and we'll see what happens. Right. So here's our schmear. This is the jalapeno, bacon, and cream cheese. I'm going to put it in the fridge just to let it like kind of set up. I was thinking about it. I'm going to take the chayote and the onion, the white onion, add a little rice wine vinegar, and just give it a good toss. And so I think that'll kind of add I don't know, just a good flavor going in with this. Maybe put a little black pepper in there. There we go. I think that's what it needed. Alright, now it's going to have that sweet and that bite to it. I've got the red bell pepper that I've rinsed, removed the skin from, the charred skin. It's kind of giving a little dry out right now. Alright, so let's slice the steak. Now I'm going to use this fancy knife. Let's see where we're at. Oh, there we go. Alright, yeah, I'm basically just going to shave this steak down. Yeah, so this one night, I mean, we were slammed. We were insanely slammed. And like I said, we could comfortably maybe stand 40 people. We probably had close to 100 people in there. It was just insane. And one of the problems that we were having, of course, was with it being so packed, our security guards, we had, I think, 2, and they were completely fucking overwhelmed. So because this is the type of crowd too that once things start getting like out of hand, they go out of hand really quickly. So, oh man, this steak is fucking so good looking. Yeah, so we were responding to basically like fights all night long, and even though I'm sitting there, I'm cooking, the servers would come running back, basically, like, not even running back, because there was an open window to the floor, and the servers would basically just like look up and be like, hey dude, we got a fucking someone punching someone over here, or we got something. And so me or Ika, the other chef, I know this is kind of just sinewy, fatty stuff at the end here, so we're not going to get into that. We will cut off the good parts. Yeah, so me and Ika are like playing security as well as being the cooks. All right. Then leave this just sitting right here in its juices. Let it kind of keep cooling a little bit. And then I'm gonna start the eggs right now. Yeah, so Ika and I are playing security, running around. I mean, there's like purses getting stolen. There was just, I need a new spatula. This thing's gotten like non-spatulastic after a while. Alright, these are looking nice. Yeah, so as the night's going on, things are getting just a little more rowdy, a little more out of hand. And we're doing the best we can and whatnot. And a couple fights are breaking out here and there. And for the most part, we just basically find who's the instigator and kick them out. And the sad part was that we could kick these people out, but because there was like, it was just so overwhelmed, they could easily sneak right back in. So we had a lot of people who were just causing problems and then just coming right back in. Alright. Now those are looking really good. So we got basically almost everything ready. We got our onion, we got our egg, we got our steak, we got our bell pepper. I'm going to give this a nice thin slice. I think I'm going to put the spinach in whole. It's something I kind of always do, but I don't know why. I like assembling kind of a little like station to pull all the little parts from. Yeah, so Ika and I are basically, we're dealing with this shit. These people are getting more and more out of hand, which, I mean, that's how it goes. Is people having a good time, but that good time's getting a little crazier and crazier. All right, now I'm gonna kind of set up the little station that I was talking about. All right, so so I put everything over here onto a plate and set it off to the side right here for now. Got a couple of tortillas. I like using the spinach or the tomato ones, but unfortunately they don't make them big enough. So yeah, so on this one particular night, Ika and I and everyone doing the best we can. Things are just out of control madness. One of the customers comes running up and he's like, hey, you got to go save this guy out by the bathroom or whatever. And it's like, you had like your main floor, then there was a little hallway, there was a balcony. Okay, there was a doorway that went to a balcony, and down the balcony to the left was this bathroom. And I'm like, oh shit, okay, whatever. It's like kind of like, there's a fight, whatever's going on, I don't know. Alright, now I'm heating these up. I'm not trying to like cook with them, if that makes sense. So I want it nice and hot, or nice and warm enough to where it just helps the schmear. Because we want to coat the whole thing. This is going to later on act like an adhesive when when you're rolling everything up. Because we're not making a burrito, we're making a wrap. And of course, this is going to add flavor throughout the entire thing. Alright, so now we've got a good base coating there. Now we get to line things up. And you got to remember how it's going to be done. So we're going to be rolling from this side over. So we're going to start about this far in and make a line and just kind of keep going up. You don't want to go too far because as it's rolling it's getting bigger and bigger. So we're going to go about halfway. We'll say about to right there. So I don't know. We'll figure it out. Yeah, not just color wise. Instead we're kind of thinking too about like the flavor combinations. Alright, so we're going spinach first. Then we'll work our way up. We'll go red bell pepper because that's going to go well with the spinach. We'll go onions next. Yeah, so I'm trying to like charge through this crowd. Wait, no, sorry. I basically like I don't know that the guy's like serious, so I kind of was like, yeah, I'll get to it. And then dude comes back like flipping out, like, hey man, you gotta fucking come out to the bathroom. You gotta fucking save this dude. And it's like, all right, man, I'll be there as soon as I can. And I go out, like I exit the kitchen. Ooh, now we got the egg. I'm gonna chop the egg up a little bit. Oh, and I forgot the green onion. We'll get the green onion in there too. So I'm thinking about making that second one there. So that one I'll just let, because after I make these, I like letting them sitting in the fridge for a little bit. It really helps the flavor just kind of just like disperse evenly, if that makes sense. I mean, it is literally like so many fucking people that I'm fighting to like get through to see what the hell's going on. All right. So yeah, I almost forgot some of this. So what we're gonna do, so that we don't have the vinegar directly against the eggs, we go that with that, and then just a thin line of this, just for that little bit of crunch. All right. And you know what? One more thing. A little bit of homemade hot sauce. A little drizzle on there. Since this is a vinegar-based hot sauce, that's going to help tie the vinegar from the slaw here in with the spinach. It's going to go fucking great. All right. So we're going to do kind of the burrito technique where we'll fold the ends first. And then do kind of a tight pinch and fold as you're going. But keep everything pulled in. It's kind of messy, but the outcome is awesome. This is why I like using the larger tortillas, because the cool little red or green ones, you get like, it's like this big when you're done. Alright, I'm going to do one more. Hold on, I need to heat this one back up. Yeah, so I fucking pushing my way through the crowd to get out there, trying to figure out what's going on. Oops. And by the time I get around the corner, like get to the door to get to the outside, I see these two dudes. Both of them are pretty big guys, and they're basically just blasting into each other. Yeah, so these two guys are basically like just punching the shit out of each other, but they're stuck in this little like hallway that's like this wide. Well, it's a balcony that's literally like this wide, like 3.5 feet wide at best. This time we're going to put the little slaw on this side. And we'll put the green onion way up over here too. Alright. Yeah, so these, like, I come around the corner and there's, in between me and these guys, there's maybe like 8 feet. But in that 8 feet, there's like 15, 20 people. Maybe not 20. Well, there was a shitload of fucking people. And so there's basically like no way for me to get to them to figure out what's even going on. And while I'm watching this, like trying to like kind of like, how do I get around? How do I get there? What's like, how can I get involved? Even though both these guys are twice my size and just duking the shit out of each other. One of the guys fucking, there we go, now we're getting a little creative here. One of the guys grabs the other dude by the back, oops, almost forgot the end. Yeah, grabs the dude by the back of his shirt, like right behind, like the neck or whatever of his shirt, and just starts slamming the dude into the fucking wall. just literally just beating the shit out of him into the, like, just slamming his face right into this fucking wall. We'll do the sauce on this side this time. And dude at one point braces himself against the wall to stop from getting fucking his skull broken, his forehead broken. And so he, like, yeah, braces himself against the wall to fucking stop from getting just his shit kicked out of him. And the dude, literally without even a flinch of the eye, switches hands, grabs the dude by the front of his shirt, and just starts beating the face, like beating the back of his head against this fucking railing. Alright, I got a little split going there. Didn't want that. I'm gonna put these onto a plate and then let them chill for just a second. Alright, so I got kind of a last minute addition. I've got that blue cheese dressing from the other day. I'm gonna mix that with some of our Schmear, to make kind of like a ranch-esque dip. But I figure a blue cheese dip, like, I don't know, with the steak, I think it's gonna go fucking killer. So, we'll try it out. I'm not gonna do too much of that because I don't want that to overpower. I mean, blue cheese, jalapenos, bacon, mayonnaise, you can't go wrong. We literally made like a green ranch. It's a jalapeno, blue cheese. Oh fuck, dude, this is fucking, I tasted it, this is fucking amazing. Alright, these are out of the fridge. See, like I was saying earlier with the cream cheese, it helps seal everything nice. I'm bummed this one ripped, but we'll make it work. Yeah, so I'm watching this, like, this dude literally just get his head beat into the fucking wall, or into the railing, because now he's braced against the wall. And I'm just watching this shit and it's like, no fucking way. And it wasn't like a normal bar fight. This was not like fucking just two dudes at it over a chick or whatever, or a fucking sport dispute. Alright, I'm going to slide this all off over here. I got this one now. And I mean, this dude was literally getting his head like cracked open, like smashed open right in front of me. And I couldn't, like, there was nothing I could fucking do. Like, I basically go to jump in, and I'm still like 8 feet away or whatever, and it's just fucking madness. Like, there's so many people are everywhere there. Alright, so here we go. We're gonna take just the good parts here for just for now. So let's have a little fun with this. Alright. Yeah, so fucking, I'm just like pushing my way through this crowd, trying to get to him, trying to figure out like how I can basically prevent this dude from becoming fucking brain damaged. So we're gonna eat all these other parts. So, yeah, you know what? Let's have a little fun with them too. Yeah, and so fucking as I'm pushing my way through the crowd, this dude like kind of stops me, like kind of holds me back, and I'm like, no, dude, like we gotta save this dude. This guy's like getting fucked up. Alright. And the guy who stopped me looks like, gives me kind of this like, no, dude, like it's all right. And he points to the guy who was doing the fucking beating. And he just says, he is the cop, or he is the cops, or however he said it, but fucking, apparently the guy that he was beating up had been pickpocketing / molesting girls all through the night at the restaurant, or on the dining room floor, and people had been trying to stop him, and then finally, like when he got caught, more or less, like caught red-handed, I guess he'd caught. He tried to take off running, but he ended up running out the exit, which was to the not exit, running out the back door, which was to the balcony. And unless he wanted to jump down 12 feet or 14 feet or whatever it was, he was kind of stuck, and apparently he ran literally right into a cop who was off duty, but who was there hanging out and had heard about what was going on. And so I walked in on that and fucking, oh here, let's go fancy. I got the balsamic glaze going here. See, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a steak breakfast wrap with fucking just killer stuff with a jalapeno popper. Now we create. I've never made this before, so now we created a new thing right here on the show. All right. Well, I'm gonna fucking dig in, but just to let you guys know, like, yeah, the guy ended up getting the shit kicked out of him, and fucking the rest of the cops showed up not even, I'd say, 20 minutes later, and actually arrested the guy. And I mean, probably, hopefully, took him to the fucking hospital. The guy was brain dead, in my opinion, at that point. But hey, that's what it is, man. All right, enjoy, and look how quick and easy that was, or how simple that was. All right, thank you guys. Thank you very much.